So you're either going to hate this video or you're going to love this video. Welcome back, Dolph fans. Today we're going to be discussing something that I think we're all talking about. So Tua's cleared, he's practicing, and obviously, as we all know it, it would take some unforeseen circumstances for Tua to not be playing on Sunday. Here's the thing, guys. A lot of us are asking the question, because as a Dolphins fan, personally, I don't understand the fans that want to tank. I don't enjoy watching my team lose. There's kind of like the whole point of waking up on Sunday. Typically for a gentleman like me, that's usually my only day off. And I wake up on Sundays getting ready to go to church and then go watch football. And I don't want to see my team lose because that would kind of suck for me on my one day off to see my team lose. And I've seen that a lot. And a lot of people are saying to tank for the season, but we have to understand something here. We'll go into statistics from the Jaguars game, and basically about Tua is a question that we have to ask ourselves. Can Tua save the season? And when we go into more so of what Tua can do and what the other quarterbacks can't do, I say there's a strong maybe, and here's why. So we all like to pinpoint back to the Buffalo Bills and the Jaguars game when Tua was playing. Now, of course, the Bills game was not great, and it didn't look good for most of the quarter. And the Jaguars game, a lot of people like to say that, he had two bad games to start off the half. I'm going to tell you something right now, because we seem to forget. The Jaguars game, the statistics for Tua Tagovailoa was 23 for 37, 338. Quick intermission. If you're liking this video, do me that favor. Hit the like, hit that subscribe. Fins up, baby. Yards and one touchdown, and most of that was in the second half. So you have to really consider if that is a bad game. Considering what we have right now, that is a excellent game for any quarterback that we put on the field at this moment. Now, here's the thing. We all understand, or most of us do, the real Miami Dolphins fan, the real football fans understand that Tua is very polarizing. And people don't talk about other people the same way that they talk about Tua. For instance, Joe Burrow didn't look fantastic coming out the gate, to begin the season, but no one cares about that, and he started playing better throughout the season. Thing is we barely have any preseason games to go from, and we barely have any playing time for the starters to go from. And so, as it's called, Odell Beckham said this is the most complicated offense he's ever been on. So typically this is probably going to take a little while to get started. But one of the things that I have to reiterate is that what Tua gives you is 300 yards and a couple touchdowns most games. Now, is he going to be rusty? I don't know, because it's a different situation. He's been throwing with all the people. He hasn't really been in a concussion protocol. He didn't really have symptoms since the game itself. And another thing that we have to really understand is that Devontae Smith had a concussion that looked very similar to Tua's. Josh Allen had another one that looked very similar to Tua's. Malik Neighbors had a concussion very similar to Tua's. The difference is that these players are playing a couple weeks after. Devontae Smith, 2 weeks. Neighbors, 2 weeks. And Tua is out for 5. And the reason behind that is because Tua is a different name. And people either hate Tua or they love Tua. And anything that happens to Tua, for some crazy reason, I'm not really sure what it is, they talk about it. So what we're going to talk about as well. So I wanted to get that out there. The concussion, he didn't even have any symptoms after the game. And honestly, one of the things that we have to really reiterate is something that he said in his press conference, is that boxers take concussions all the time. UFC fighters you watch all the time. They take concussions all the time. No one cares. But in this sport, it's become a big deal because of the Aaron Hernandez thing and all of that. So we'll dive into this and what Tua essentially gives us. And here's what I can say. Just judging based upon the press conference, I know this is just wordplay and this is just, it's lip service to it, but when you hear Tua get on to the microphone and take the press conference, I hear Tyreek Hill, I hear Jalen Waddle, they sound like they do. The only time that I hear a strong masculine leader type of voice come out is not from Mike McDaniel, not from Chris Greer, not from any of them. It's Tua Tagovailoa. When he got onto the press podium, he sounded like the leader of this group. And there's something that people aren't going to understand, especially if, most of the people that comment on the Dolphins or any sport, most of them are just fat, kind of lazy, never played a sport in their life type of dudes, is that it's a difference not just in the play that Tua gives, but in the presence of having a leader on the team. I think that was very much so underestimated when it came to the losing streak, is that Tyreek Hill's not a leader. I'm sorry to say that. He's not a leader. Jalen Waddle is not a leader. Raheem Mostert, he's great. Not really a leader. Mike McDaniel, not a leader. On that offensive side, now Curtis Weaver, guy's a leader. On the offensive side, there was no leaders. And when you hear Tua talk, he sounds like the leader of that group. He sounds like the dude that makes this thing just run. And it's clear as day. It's crazy to me to hear in the comments that people are still saying that Tua sucks. When you see, it just boggles my mind to still hear people say that they think that Tua sucks when this offense was derailed just by his not being on this team. And then they still want to say that I made a video saying to fire the coach, and people still want to say that this coach made Tua. This coach didn't make Tua. This coach has a couple of cool plays that are awesome. All he really did was do something that Tua never had in his life, which was get him weapons. The more weapons Tua has, the better he looks. So you get him Tyreek Hill, you get him obviously the receivers that he had. When Tua was playing with basically just Gesicki and Devontae Parker, who was on and off the field because of injuries, he still did this. The completion percentage, the accuracy, the percentage of how you can make this type of throw, all of that was still there. I don't understand where people seem to forget this over and over again, that all of that was still there. The only difference is now is he actually has good players around him instead of the garbage that he had before. It's wild to me watching some of these people's videos where they'll say he sucks. They completely forget that he had the worst receiving core and the worst offensive line and the worst run game, and we still made runs for playoffs. And then they give him weapons and they want to say Mike McDaniel made him. Clear as day, this team runs on Tua. Coach isn't nothing. The coach, clear as day, you take Tua out. All the other players were playing. Every single player was playing. Even Teron Armstead is still playing. And this offense was hot garbage. So the fact that people can sit here, I'm ranting, I don't usually rant on this channel, but the fact that people can sit here and say that Tua sucks is just mind-boggling to me. So can he save the season? That depends on Mike McDaniel. Tua can only do so much. He can only throw the ball to whoever can get open. If Mike McDaniel doesn't want to realize that running the ball is very effective on this team and that will allow the play action pass that gets people open, that's on Mike McDaniel. But as for play, I think 100% Tua can turn this around. We've done it before with Tua, 1-7 record to a 7-1 record. He's done it before. I don't care what anybody wants to say. He's dealt with pressure before. And honestly, this is the perfect time to show it. Excuse the fire, engine outside. This is the perfect time to show it. Because right now, this is like earn your money time. And do I think he can turn it around? I think there's a good shot that there's going to be people eating their words at the end of this season. Now, we'll see. Is this 100%? Absolutely not. I have no idea. But I do think that this is going to completely change the dynamic, especially when we're only like 2 spots out of a playoff spot. And these teams, they're not going to win 9 games. The teams that we're down against, they're not going to win that much. So do I think Tua can turn it around? I really do. I think it's a hard maybe yes, just based upon the coach, not because of him. But if Teron Armstead stays healthy and, Aaron Brewer keeps playing, Aaron Brewer keeps playing the way he is, I think we have a shot. There's plenty of moments where the receivers are getting open, the offense is looking fine. Tua hits these throws, we're winning all these games. Completely different outlook on the season, even with the Bills loss. So I think there's a really good possibility. But let me know down in the comments. As always, guys, fins up, baby. Love you all. Peace.